Good evening. It's a late night extra time. It's finished. Fulham 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, and I'm joined here with my co-host Amy. How are you, Amy?
I'm fantastic. Adama saved the day against VAR, I think is how I'm going to sum up that game. So I'm relieved because I think those 3 points against Fulham, I'm quite confident to say that we are safe for another season in the Premier League. I don't see how we can be caught now. Realistically, I know still mathematically, but I think realistically, I think that's confirmed our safety, which I think is quite a relief, to be honest, because it's not been the easiest of seasons to watch. So really happy. I mean, I'm sure we'll come on to a few of the decisions. I can see that Troy on VAR nil, which I think we can all agree with. But yeah, just really happy. I don't think it was a very good game.
I think it was a game with two teams that are not in great form, scrapping a little bit, looking for a win, not wanting to lose. I think there was some incidents in the game, as you probably know. I mean, Jose first minute opportunity, the VAR. I've got a before we get on to the callers tonight. I've got a theory on the VAR, Amy, which I've got to share with everyone.
Whether it's the same theory as my theory, because I've got a theory on the VAR as well.
It'll be interesting to see whether it's the same theory, but I'll give you mine first in a second, and then obviously we got that winner. But my theory on it, because I've been looking at the technical handbook for the Premier League for the rules on VAR, and I have found in chapter 14, subsection 7, line 3, paragraph A, point 2.6.
You've got too much time, friends.
It does actually state that Wolverhampton Wanderers are not allowed to score a goal first in a game in the first 90 minutes of the match. And when you look at that sub-paragraph, it does state that VAR must find a reason to disallow any goal Wolves score first in a game. But technically, while the goal was allowed at the end, is because it only says on the rules within the first 90 minutes of the match. So they couldn't instigate the rule at the end to disallow it. So that's why the Adama Traore one has been held. That's a bit sarcastic because it was absolutely ridiculous. What's your theory?
I mean, mine's a bit more controversial and touche than that. But thinking about the way that Villa stayed up last year with the fact that someone didn't turn on the goal line technology at Villa and they should have gone down and Bournemouth should have stayed up in goal difference. Did someone at VAR want Fulham to stay up and give them a few points over Newcastle is my theory. However, that didn't come to fruition, but that was my controversial, cynical view, maybe. My mate.
I think we're all a bit cynical to be honest about that tonight, guys. If you're watching here live on YouTube, please. If you're enjoying the content, please smash a like, and if you could share it on any groups, Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups. Let's get loads of Wolves fans in tonight to talk about this. It's absolutely fun. If you're listening to it back on the podcast or you're watching it back, I really hope that you're going to enjoy the show. I think it's going to be a tasty one. Before we get on to our first guest, Amy, do you have a performance rating and your man of the match before we get to the guests?
I mean, I'm going to give the performance rating a 7 because the performance wasn't great, but the fact that they won for the first time in quite a while boosts the points up a bit. And I thought Semedo had a good game, but for confidence, I'm going to give it to Jose because he really should have a goal to his name tonight. And I'm just absolutely gutted for him, to be fair. I think he got himself into some really good positions tonight, and he kind of, especially the position he got in, that's what we want to see from him.
I agree. I think hopefully he'll take confidence because it was a good header. And I thought he probably had his best game. Andrew Benton's agreeing with you there. I went on my instant match reaction. I've gone with a 6 for the rating, and I was close to giving it to 8 Nori because I thought he had a decent game. But because Traore scored the winner in such style, and he was the match winner, I've just had to go with Traore on tonight. But it'd be interesting to see what everyone rates the performance and what they score. So we're going to kick off tonight with a father and daughter team who were first in tonight. But we do have backstage the stat man. We have Aidan, we've got Scott and Matt, and we've got more coming as well. But we're going to bring on, I'm going to change the background because we have to look professional, don't we? There we go, when we get 3 on. So it looks a bit funny now, but we're going to bring on Dad. Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hiya.
Right, Dave. Right, Amy.
That shirt looks. What shirt's that you've got on, Ria?
It looks like a Dutch shirt.
It's a goalie. It's the goalie top.
I was thinking.
Oh, it's a goalie top.
Very bright.
Yeah.
How did you find the game tonight?
Well, I think at the start, when we had 4 at the back, we didn't look as solid defensively as after half an hour when Dendonka moved back into defence, when Neto went off injured. I think we just looked much more solid and better defensively.
Yeah, I think we always do. We just looked more like Wolves, the Munoz Wolves playing the 5, which I personally wanted us to start with. And I think we played better in that shape once we went back to it after 30 minutes. Overall, I was pleased. I thought we ground it out against a team that was desperate to get points on the board tonight. I thought we deserved the win. I thought we looked like the team that was going to win the game. As we was approaching the last quarter of an hour, I think we passed it with more purpose than they did. Yeah.
And I also think it should have been 2-0 win, actually, with Jose's disallowed goal. It wasn't even a millimetre offside.
It's a load of rubbish.
Lines.
It's a load of... When they get them lines out, drawing lines, forget about it. No. You should just be able to look with your own eye, and you can see when you freeze it, does somebody look onside or offside? If the level is too close to call, then that's it. It's a goal. Not draw line.
Boom. Do you know? And you know what? This is what I'm saying before. It's a Premier League thing because we scored first. And I reckon they zoomed in and there was a thread of the material off Pudence's shirt that was blowing in the wind, and they picked up on that.
Even when they were drawing the lines, it's not level to me.
The linesman was in line with the ball, so I don't understand how it's in line with the line,
it's ridiculous. It's awful, and it kills the spontaneity, the reaction of the players and of the fans. Because whenever the goal goes in, your first thought is, "Oh, hang on a bit now. Don't celebrate. Don't celebrate. No. Let's check what the robots think. Let's let them draw lines. It's a human game. It ain't a game for technology. This is human emotion. We want to be able to celebrate goals without the fear of lines coming out and little drawings on screens. Let the referee. Yeah. Yes, there'll be mistakes. Yes, lines will make mistakes, but it's a human game, and at least then, when there's a goal, you can celebrate, and there's none of this stop, wait, draw. The technology in football, to me, that ain't a good mix.
And do you know what? Glenn Oddle said during the game, I think at some point, he actually, was on the part of the commentary, and he basically was saying how ridiculous. I know Peter Crouch said he'd be gutted for Jose, but he said it's so ridiculous that they've ruled it out for that. And when fans are in the stadium watching it, and we've all been there, and we're celebrating a goal, and you're bouncing around, and then all of a sudden, VAR comes up on the screen, and you don't know why, and you're just looking at the screen, and like they're saying, it's killing the emotion of the game. I think VAR as a role to play in search, but that is just, I couldn't say it was offside.
It's not brought in for clear and obvious mistake, and the clear and obvious is the 2 key words in it. There's no player was appealing that was offside. No one commentating said, "Oh, it looks offside." No one would have even questioned that being offside. And to me, looking at the still, which I think we've all probably seen on social media at half time, it looked like the Fulham's player's hand or fingertips was actually playing him onside, which is what I couldn't understand. So it's where your eyes are drawn to on the line. So it's just unclear water. But thankfully, Traore came up with the goods in the last minute.
Yeah.
But what a shame! What a shame for Jose.
It was his first Wolves goal as well. It was a cracking goal.
Cracking header. He attacked it well on the move, and he played well tonight, Jose. I tell you.
I thought he had. I thought he probably had his best game in a Wolves shirt tonight, Jose.
I think I also quite thought that Fabio might start tonight, so I was a bit surprised to see. I'm glad that he did. So, but yeah, I'm just frustrated for him. So.
It's just a shame for the guy.
It's 3 points.
And I also think that Traore's goal was very good as well, a near post. And all you can do then is just smash it.
Yeah, that was the option he had. Because he knew he had to try and beat the goalkeeper there in the near post. The only way you would beat a goalkeeper on the near post, running wide like he was put your foot through it. Yeah. And that's what he did. He just leathered it. And the pace beat the keeper. And
it was a good pass from Silva to slip it through to Adama.
Nice weight. Look at the weight on the pass from Silva. You know, that could have easily been over it. And
I tell you what, Silva, I think he's starting to win people round. I mean, the finish again in the last game, how he brought it down, and then the vision to play that pass. If it was, what's his name out of City? I call his name that plays all the passes. If De Bruyne had played that pass, they'd have been like going over it. You know, what a wonderful pass. But the weight of the pass. But I think it surprised everyone because Adama seemed to be going towards the. You know, with no one there. And I think he thought, there's no one there. I'm just going to leather it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Just put your foot through it. And that's what he did. And then you get it on target. And you never know, do you? Yeah. And the pace on the ball beat the goalkeeper. And it's good. And last game, first assist, wasn't it? Adama's first assist in the last game. Today, first goal. So, again, you know, Adama's stats are improving. It's a bit of a shame for Adama because he's created opportunities throughout the season for people, and people ain't took the opportunities. Yeah. You can't put that on him. He's made chances. If you look at the amount of chances he's created, his actual stats of the chances he's created are really good. But they just haven't been taken. So you can't put that all on him. But his goal scoring is certainly something that needs to be looked at because he's capable of hitting the back of the net on a more regular basis. So today, for him to get on the score sheet was a big plus.
I think you're absolutely right, to be honest. It's good to see. So, guys, we've got 3 minutes left with you guys on the screen. This is the fun bit where me and Amy sit back and let you two argue with each other, and we have a little chuckle because you always argue. Who's going to be your man of the match each, and what's your performance rating? We'll just sit back now and let the entertainment unravel.
So I'll go first with the man of the match. I think Semedo. He was very solid defensively and he had a tough opponent, didn't he?
Robinson played well for Fulham on the left,
So he was very good today and he was creating chances, going up with the ball, and he did have he passed to Pedence that chipped over to Jose, and also his stats, as you were going to say, very good. He had the most interceptions and tackles,
and I think he had the highest pass accuracy as well. Semedo, so Semedo's stats was very good. Yes, Semedo did play well. Yeah. I've mentioned Jose earlier. I'll just throw another name in there as well, Connor Cody, because previously that guy has struggled against Mitrovic. Yeah. We've saw him in the past get bullied by Mitrovic. Today, he stood up to the test well. He stood up to the physical battle well. He organised and his passing was good as well, spraying walls around. So I'll give a mention to Connor Cody as well.
Then my general performance, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. We were much more solid defensively when we went back to that back five, and we were creating more chances, even without the attacking, entertaining players on the pitch. When Neto came off, when Pedence came off, so I think we played well today, and it was a clean sheet.
That was the big
and
thing.
We did score first, which is very surprising.
Just to remind you that we were only allowed to keep the goal as it was after the 90th minute by VAR technical rules. That's the only reason I can see that first goal was completely disallowed. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but overall, I think Ray's right. 7 out of 10 sort of performance, because it was a tough game against a team who was desperate. And when you're playing against teams like that, who know it's a must-win game. You know, it was a must-win game for Fulham. I thought we handled the occasion well, handled Fulham's desperation well, and I think we deserve the win. We had obviously the goal disallowed, and as like I say, as the game wore on, we were looking like the team who wanted to win the game. We were looking like the team who could open the door, who was passing with more purpose. So I honestly think it was a thoroughly deserved win, and I was pleased to see us back in that 5 shape, even though it was through an injury to Neto. I do feel more comfortable with us in the 5, and I just think we have a more stable.
Because you build your team from your defence, and if you don't have your solid defence, you're not going to win.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to have the stability. You've got to have the stability at the back. It's not good being all good up front, and they go down the other end. It's goal. You've got to be stable. You've got to work. It's an old school way of thinking, but you work from the back. You set up your defence. If you take over a team, the first thing you work on is your defence. You get set up to be difficult to beat. So my time's running out. I'll talk no more and I'll say good night.
Boom. That's like countdown. Did it. Absolutely brilliant. Guys, pleasure to have you back on the channel again. Brilliant, brilliant analysis, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the show.
Cheers, Dave.
Thank you.
Take care, mate. Take care. Now, we do have a big treat coming on for you now, because we do have from the dressing room. We have the young man, which is Ruben Neves. How are you doing, Ruben?
Hey, how's it going? I'm definitely.
This is Matt, but when he comes on the International Fan, everyone says that you look like Ruben Neves, and you can see the look-alike. Can you not, Amy?
No.
No, not really.
You can't?
No.
Oh, well, am I right, Matt? Everyone calls you Ruben Neves on the International Fan.
It's like a 1 in 3. So like it's a fair. I was away in Braga, and I walked into
drinking the lager,
drinking the lager in Braga, and I got a few beers bought for me because I look like Neves, and since then it's sold out of control.
Maybe it's the light, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah,
see
fair
it.
enough.
Sorry. How are you though, Ruben Neves? That is not.
I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, I was quite nervous about the game, to be honest. I thought today, considering how poor we've been for the last 5 or 6 games, I wasn't quite excited. But yeah, a win's a win. We're now safe, so we can enjoy the rest of the season.
Enjoy the rest. Do you think it will be enjoy the rest of the season, or just get to the end of the season?
We've got a relatively easy run in comparison with most teams in our position. So I think for us, it's pretty important that if we don't win 3 out of the next 6 or 7, I'd be quite disappointed, to be honest, because we've been in a pretty poor run, and it can spill over to next season. So I want to see us win 4 or 5 before the end of the season.
Yeah, and what were your kind of positives to take from the game tonight?
We won. I mean, that was it, really, wasn't it? It was pretty bad, right?
Yeah, I think though, a team like Fulham, it was always set up to be a game like that. I don't think it was anyone kind of went into the game thought it was going to be the prettiest, most pleasant game of football ever, because they really needed to get the result. So it's always going to be a ground out result. And I think towards the end, you just knew it was going to be about 20 minutes from the end. It was going to be a 1-0 if it was going to go to a win. But no, I'm glad we just got the 3 points, to be honest.
Matt, why don't you just tell everyone where you actually are from? Because we didn't give you the proper introduction. Thank you for making your full live debut. And it's a pleasure to speak to you live as well, mate, because we talk a lot on WhatsApp on the International Fan stuff, and you send in the videos. But tell everyone where you send the videos in from.
I'm from Dudley originally, from Milking Bank, but I'm living in Berlin at the moment. Well, 10 years living in Germany.
Amazing.
And how are things over in Germany at the moment in terms of the COVID stuff and everything?
I mean, it's pretty grim, to be honest. I mean, I think anywhere else, it's as everywhere else in Europe, it's pretty rubbish. But you know, you do what you can. You know, we're getting vaccinated. We can watch the football. Wolves have won. Like,
what time to be alive?
it's not the end of the world, you know. Like, we do our best, to be honest.
No, it's great. And you know, what's your kind of like thoughts on you know, on the your man of the match and the performance rating overall and everything? I mean, I'm interested to see how you dissect that and what your rating is and your man of the match.
I thought overall we were pretty poor, to be honest. I thought we started quite well. The disallowed goal is ridiculous. I mean I don't know if you guys have spoken about it at length about the offside armpit goal from Podence. I'm not quite sure at what point VAR is like serving football fans. Like, regardless if you're a Wolves fan or a Fulham fan, like who cares if that degree of like offside is given? I mean, to me, it seems insane that we're like arguing over like an armpit hair that this goal doesn't exist. I mean, like you look at cricket where the on-field umpire gives a decision, and unless it's like a clear and obvious error, you overturn it. I don't know why in football we are like fighting over an offside where I literally couldn't tell with this offside whether it was
they made a good point after the game. I don't know whether you saw it on BT, and they're saying about the law change in the offside, because it's the law really that it's not VAR. It is the kind of the law and the application of VAR, but that it needs to be more in the attacking side's favour, which is what it always seems to be in the defence, like the opposition's side favour. And I think that's where we need to see the change, because that's what makes it more competitive, isn't it, if there's more goals? So I think that's what and tonight it should have been in the attacking team's favour, and then it makes it a lot more fair. And I don't think even Fulham fans could probably, I mean, you'd be pleased that it was disallowed, but it's not exactly fair that it was disallowed, because it was a goal, really.
No, it absolutely makes sense. I completely agree. I think this season it's disallowed. Next season it shouldn't be. Like football is a game where you want to score goals. You know, like I don't think any Wolves fan is disappointed if it's a Fulham goal that is scored on that level of like of that line. Like we don't watch football for this amount of like minutiae. You know, I think that's the issue, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So, what was your overall performance rating and man of the match?
I thought we were pretty poor for quite a long time. I thought Fabio's through ball to Traore was excellent. Mm-hmm. I thought he offered quite a lot going forward, more so than William Jose. Man of the match, maybe Semedo. Yeah, I'll give it Nelson.
Oh, right.
I thought it was one of the few one-on-ones in the game that he won more than he lost.
I thought he did quite well, actually. I think the worry with Semedo, and I think we'll see the best of him next season. And the reason I say that, once we have a proper pre-season and Nuno gets to drill him, and I think sometimes his positional play at the back, he gets caught out a little bit with a fast ball, and they get behind him a quick, and he doesn't react fast enough.
Yeah,
I think that's something to do with his positional play, and I do believe that we'll see the best of Semedo next year. You do see him going forward. I think he feels a bit more confidence in the team, but he's always got that little mistake in him, hasn't he? It didn't cost us tonight, thank goodness. He cost us against West Ham, but then the whole defence were cut apart by like butter. And I do think, just before you finish, Matt, I do think, although Pedro Neto went off injured, and I hope he's not too seriously injured, I do think that possibly forced Nuno's hand to bring on Moutinho and drop Dendoncker into the back three. And from that point, we just looked a little bit more comfortable. I don't know if you think that or not.
No, I think this is the big challenge of the Wolves team, right? Is that we go 3 at the back or 4 or 5 at the back and we look very solid, but we offer nothing going forward. Whereas you play 4-2-3-1, it's absolute carnage, but we might score more goals. And at the moment, we're in this sort of no man's land where we can't play either one. We play one quite well where we can defend, and we play the one really well we can attack, but we can't do both together. And I think that's the big question for next season is, where does Nuno put his eggs in his basket? Do we play 4-2-3-1 next season and go out and buy another centre half and maybe put Cody out and or Sice out and bring someone into playing Saboli, or do we again go 3-4-3 and try and be more attacking? To me, it feels at the moment that 4-2-3-1 is the way to go. I think a 4 of Neto, Podence, Traore, and Raul is pretty attractive, to be honest. And if we can work out a defense that can not ship 1 or 2 goals per first half, then we'll be in a good shape. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with that. I think the key for me is they've just got to get the defense sorted. They've just the defense has been the letdown this season. I think the absence of Bolly for quite a considerable amount of the season has been very noticeable. You do always worry, and you think the back three, that when it went back to kind of like 3 at the back, there's Dendoncker, who's a midfielder, Cody, who is a midfielder, and Sace, who is a midfielder. So you've got no natural centre backs. So I think that's where they need to kind of focus and strengthen. But yeah, I'm just personally, I've been saying it for a long time now, very much looking forward to the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
I usually hate the end of the season. I usually get really sad when it's over, but this year I'm like, just get it.
It's one of them seasons, isn't it, this year, where it's like pretend it never happened type of thing. It's like Twilight Zone and everything like that. Yeah. Listen, Matt, we're going to have to move on, mate, because I've got so many people waiting. But I've been wanting to get you on live for so long. I know it's been difficult for you during the lockdown. You got it's loosened up a little bit, but it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you in person, mate. And I hope it's the first of many. And don't forget to look out for Match Reaction on the International Fan Reaction, which will be out sometime tomorrow after I've delivered a load of samosas.
Right, cheers.
Cheers, Matt.
Take it easy.
Bye, bye.
So thanks to Matt, and we've now got backstage. We've got Aidan, we've got Dave from New York, we've got Scott, we've got Wolfman Jess, we've got Craig. Not long till he gets his tuba out for the West Brom game. But next up, we've got the stat man himself, Statman Speedy.
Hiya.
Hello, both of you.
You okay?
Yes, are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Ah, good.
Are you there, Statman? You're very quiet.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. So what do you want to say then, mate?
Good. Oh, sorry. Oh, obviously, do you want to read the stats at all? Anything or...
Yeah, that's what you're famous for. Let's get them on.
Sorry. Thanks for letting me on the show. Obviously, Wolves won the game with Chelsea. Great. So shots. Fulham had 14. Wolves 7. Target for Fulham 3, and that was the same for Wolves. Wolves had the better possession with 51% to Fulham's 49%. Passes for Fulham was 431%. Passes for Wolves was 441. Passing accuracy, Fulham had 84% to Wolves' 82%. Fulham had 11 fouls to Wolves' 8. No, there was no yellow cards or red cards.
Is that a fact? No yellow cards or red
Fulham
cards?
got
There wasn't actually.
I know, I was shocked when I saw it. There was no yellow cards. No, there wasn't. Offsides, Fulham got caught. Oh, sorry. Offsides, Fulham got caught offside 3 times towards his 1. 3 corners for Fulham and 4 corners. And there's the stats.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So
you do a lot of work, doesn't he, Amy? Well done, mate. Well done. Brilliant. Over to Amy. She's gonna interrogate you now.
What's your
What's your
favourite stat of the night?
Thank you for asking. I would say difficult choice. I'd say on target. I know it sounds a bit stupid, but quite positive. 7 shots. It was 3 on target, which is obviously quite good in my opinion.
Yeah, 30%. So, what do you think for the next game, Speedy? What do you think is going to happen against Sheffield United next Saturday?
I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I don't think it will, even though Sheffield are going down. I think they'll still push back for. But I think I'll go for. I want Fabio Silva to score again because I think the guy's got a lot of confidence. And I'm going to go for a Ruben Neves to get a goal because he hasn't scored in a long time, has he? So hopefully he'll get a goal.
A good worldie of a goal.
Yeah, he don't score normal ones, does he? Or well, if it's a penalty, a header. But no, yeah, hopefully a worldie.
So, who was your man of the match and your performance rating for this evening?
First half was a 5. Second half was a 7. My man of the match for a long time was Fabio. I think even because he got the assist and it was such a great pass. Here's a stat for you. He's got a goal and assist in 5 days. And I think he's starting to show the talent he has, you know what I mean? And he's definitely my man of the match. Dave, what I spoke to you about earlier, if that's okay, as my mum's gave me a opinion. Is that okay?
Say that again, Speedy, because you're breaking up a bit, mate.
Can I? You know what I spoke to you earlier? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can I say that that's okay? Because my mum has given me permission. If that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, Amy, obviously you don't know. Obviously, I've told Dave. Basically, my mum's been diagnosed with breast cancer today.
Good to hear that.
So it's probably a bit. Well, thank you. You know, to be, that's why I'm probably a bit quiet, if you know, to be, because it's a lot to take in. And she's obviously she's going to get through. Is obviously the main thing. It's just obviously it's not nice for anyone to go through. But I just wanted to mention that because, you know what I mean, I don't want you to think that there's anything wrong with me or why I'm quiet. The reason I'm probably quiet is obviously because of that and it's quite upsetting. But I just wanted to mention that and I do appreciate you for letting me say that, Dave and Amy.
Well done for coming on tonight. My mum had breast cancer 3 years ago, so you'll be okay. You'll get through it. So just remember that. You'll be
Thank you.
So, you know, we're here. So whenever you want to come on, just come on.
And I'm sure, like, if your mum wants to speak to Amy's mum or something, or Amy about stuff, she'll be able to give us some encouragement and advice. And you know, Speedy, that there's a lot of love for you and your mum here on this channel. We're all here for you. We all send love and prayers to you, your mum and your family. You know, I'm someone that's, you know, many years ago got diagnosed with leukemia and was given 3 years to live. And that was 20 odd years ago. And it's all about getting it right up here, positivity. And I'm sure that she'll get through this and she'll come through it stronger. And we do send out love and best wishes. And make sure you pass that on to your mum, mate. And thanks for coming on again tonight, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
I always tell her that's it's a song from Queen, The Show Must Go On. It's a thing that I think we choose in life. I'll face it with a grin. I'm never giving in on with the show, as in, like, when things are bad, you still got to carry on as much as it's. But she'll got me. She's got me to look after, and I'll keep the toes because.
Cody the dog.
Well, yeah, we got Cody. We got Cody as well. Bless him. Yeah. I think we scared him when Traore scored tonight. He's only puppy, bless him. But thanks for letting me come on. I do appreciate it.
No worries. Take care of you both.
Legends.
All right. All the best, Speedy. Love and best wishes to you all. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, Dave.
So that was obviously Speedy. Very sad news about his mom, but like, hopefully she'll get good treatment and recover. And obviously he's going to have the love and support from everyone, all Wolves fans, and obviously everyone here on the channel. Next up, all the way from Waterloo, Ontario, in Canada. Hello, Aidan. Welcome, mate.
Hey, guys. Sure, put me up after Speedy. Follow up all those numbers is bad enough, but then the terrible news there. I don't know. I don't know Speedy. I don't know Statman Matt, but you know, all the way from here in southwestern Ontario and in Canada. You know, lean on your Wolves family, mate. As somebody who's gone through a lot over the last year, lean on your Wolves family. Sometimes you try to use the football as a distraction, and sometimes that doesn't work. But on days like today, it does. So strength to you, and out of the darkness cometh the light. So
absolutely.
Hopefully get through it.
Absolutely.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. Now, anyways, if you would have asked me
everyone has a smile on their face after this, and everyone's got that little winning glow, and it's just all nice.
You know, in the international fan chat that Dave was referring to there, I was Matt and I were saying that we weren't sure if we were going to be sober for this, and then right before halftime there, I thought there's no way I'm going to be sober by the time this call comes around. So I've got 2 in front of me here, but I am sober. But I'm happy. It's I mean, it's amazing how, you know, a result. Sometimes you just got to look past the performance and focus on the results. It's a results-based business, right?
Yeah, I think you can sometimes. It definitely felt like a ground out result, and it was nice. It's always nice to get a winner in extra additional time. There's nothing that is the best feeling, is it, when you clinch that winner in the final minute?
The best.
There's just no feeling like it is there. But then we've also been on the receiving end of it quite a lot this season as well. So it was nice to get one the
Absolutely.
right one round.
Well, as soon as Caballero came on.
Oh, we were all going, weren't we? We were all going. You know what's going to happen here, mate. I want to ask you.
Yeah.
When that last minute winner goes in, it kind of came out of nowhere. Were you like shocked, or how did you react to that?
Well, I'm here alone, right? My boys don't come until later on this weekend. I almost hit my head off the ceiling here when I jumped up. And I've got a terrible back from the golf I've been playing in this beautiful weather. So it was one of those, like, you know, after that the VAR show at the end of the first half there, you almost feel like you don't want to celebrate, right? And I heard you mention earlier, Dave, you know, when we've been at the stadiums and the VAR comes up on the screen. I was at Southampton last season when we scored 3 in the second half and won it 3-2, right? 2 of those, actually all 3 of those goals were VAR reviewed, right? And you're right, you just get gutted, and it just takes the life out of it. You probably saw my tweet where I said, like, what's the point? What is the point of this? What's the point of a linesman? It's the most useless job in the world. It really is.
They just stand there, don't they? And then they're kind of obsolete, really.
I wish that I could be proven wrong in my job as many times as a linesman can and still be able to do my job. Like, it's the most pointless profession in all of sport. What happened to the words clear and obvious? What happened to those words? There's nothing clear and obvious about that. I understand the rule of the shirt line. Sure, fine, fair enough, whatever. It's stupid. That's not a clear and obvious mistake. And I'm not going to harp on about that because everybody else will talk about it and has talked about it already. But when Traoré scored that goal, it was, I mean, you hear the phrase out of nothing. That it came literally out of nothing. I just harped on about the lines, but I do got to give a little bit of credit to John Moss, who played an excellent advantage there.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, it was very good call from the ref to let it play on.
Now, as soon as I say that, I felt gross because it's John Moss we're talking about here.
But still, got to give it to him.
Credit to him, tip the cap, and then the ball by Fabio, as everybody talked about, fantastic weight. Certainly a pass he should be making. We've talked about the goals he should be scoring, but he's starting to make these passes. He's starting to score these goals. And for me, he's starting to get involved in a little bit of the niggly bits. He's starting to understand his strength. He's a big lad, right? He can push. He can push people around a little bit out there. I know he's still young and everything, but he's starting to show a little bit of that confidence, and that's encouraging. And then Traoré, I mean, I said to my cousin, who you know there, Dave, I said to him, I thought the temporary stand was going to come down when he smashed that one. Like, he just absolutely thunderbolt.
Yeah, it was really good to see.
I think he kind of, I think I said it before, I think he kind of like realised he was kind of going nowhere. And there's no one with him, and I think he just thought, last minute, I'll just leather it. And the keeper sort of flopped at it. I thought the keeper probably should have done better, but I think it took us by surprise that it happened. I think the same was said for the keeper. He didn't for one thing because of the angle and where he was going to. That was going to happen. I think then that's why it went in.
Yeah, you know, it's funny here. I'll put it in a Canadian term for you. Obviously, a very big ice hockey nation, right? One of the best places to shoot a puck in a very small goal with a big goalie full of pads is right here, right above his shoulder. You can't react at something moving that fast, right? Like the commentators here on the broadcast here were Michael Owen and Chris Coleman, who I really, really like. I really enjoy their commentary usually. Or they were the color guys in the studio, and they went on for about 5 minutes about how poorly positioned the goalkeeper was. And I'm a former goalkeeper. I used to play the position. I didn't think he was that far out of position. I really didn't. I think he just smashed it. In the one spot.
And where it was, like you say, it was just perfect art to go in. What did you think of William Jose's performance tonight, mate? And before, because we've got about 2 minutes left, and we're going to need your man of the match and performance rating.
Yeah, no worries. I thought Jose played well. I thought there was moments in the match where he kind of disappeared. He was not involved. There was moments where the ball came up to a striker's position where he should have been positioned, and it was Traore or Portence in the first half, or even Neto in the very early stages. Certainly, again, like I was saying about Fabio, starting to get used to the league a little bit. It's the best league in the world, most physical league in the world for a reason. Takes some getting used to. He certainly showed that he was getting used to that a little bit more. So I thought he played well. Room to improve, certainly. Took the goal well. Felt gutted for him until Adema scored. As far as overall performance, my overall performance was going to be pretty low. I was not happy with anything. We had one shot in the 83rd minute. That was our first shot on target. It was the 83rd minute. That's unacceptable. You're not going to win many matches 1-0, let alone 0-0. My rating was quite low until the final minute there. I was probably at a 4, but I think I finished off at a 6 because that's the margin. That's the margin. It could have easily went down to a 2, right? It could have very easily went down to a 2 if Mitrovic did what he always does to us, right? As far as man of the match, there was a few people that I really enjoyed. A couple of the guys before talked about. William Jose was talking about. I thought Morgan Gibbs-White came on. He played really, really well. Showed a little bit of intensity. Again, got involved in the niggly bits a little bit. Kind of set the tone, right? I thought Fabio played really well. João Moutinho made a huge difference when he came on. Really, really did. Obviously, formation change. But my man of the match had to be Adema with that goal. Had to be.
As he was the match winner. I think that sums it up quite nicely, Aidan. And again, Aidan, you've sent in your, I think you sent your reaction for the man of the match for the international fan. Have you sent that in yet?
Not yet. I will, or I'll just hit record on this and you can have that.
That's right. Absolutely. So, mate, great to have you back on again. I think it's always good, especially when we've got that little last-minute winner goal. Just as you say, makes that 2-point difference on the rating.
Makes a difference of a weekend, doesn't it?
And you have to enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you get out on the golf course again, mate.
Absolutely. Hopefully tomorrow. Cheers, guys.
Right. Take care, buddy. Cheers.
See ya.
So that's Aidan from Waterloo, Ontario, in Canada. We've got 2 guys from the US of A backstage. We've got Wolfman, Jess, Dave in New York. We've got Scott. But next up is Craig. Hello, Craig. You're looking very, very smart tonight, I have to say, mate.
It's been my golf top, Dave. Eagles top.
It's a bit of a golf theme tonight, isn't it, Amy?
You need, didn't you? Yeah, it is.
You're in the sun. You look sunny.
Hey.
Yeah?
Oh, it's my lamp.
Oh, it's not.
There you go.
The lamp.
There's my lamp.
You do look as if you've got a bit of a suntan, to be fair, mate.
We had
I've played absolutely loads of golf, in the last week. So I've been out on the course every day. So right. I love it. It's a great game. Hiya, guys. Amy, Dave, hiya. Really poor performance tonight, guys. And the wins, absolutely brilliant. and you know, we all love to win, but we look really, really poor again, and we've got no one to sort of unpick that lock that sits behind the front three, in front of the back 3-4. We look so predictable, and the ball keeps going sideways and back, and it's slow and it's predictable. Opposition can get back into the right shape, which is why we don't score goals. And this 4 and 3 at the back, it's an absolute. I don't even see why it's an issue, because whether we play 4 at the back or 3, we don't score any more goals, whether we play 4 or a 3.
Did you not feel though that? Yeah, but Craig, did you not feel that? I mean, I don't know what you think that when. I mean, I know when we play the 4 at the back, I do feel that we create more chances. I mean, you look at the West Ham game. We created 20 chances, 20 shots, and obviously more shots on. I think it was about 5 or 6 shots on target. And tonight we've created, I think 7 shots on goal and 3 shots on target. So I think there is an argument that we do create more in the back 4. But I think the problem that I personally think that Nuno wants to go that way, but I don't think we've got the personnel to play it. And I think Bolly's one person, and I think we need to buy not one for the future. We need to buy a top quality centre back for if we're going to play 4 at the back to play alongside Bolly, because I personally don't think
midfielder too late.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think Cody's necessarily the answer in a back 4. I do think that potentially Cody could sit in front of the back 4. Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Amy, on that?
Yeah, I think they've got to do. I mean, we've touched on it tonight. The defense, they've got to sort the defense out in the summer. I think they need to think about what formation they want to play going forward. And you know, I think there's obviously a lot of injury problems at the moment, and I think they are just trying to maybe try a few things to get round the injury problems, because there's no real first team, so to speak, at them. I mean, they are the first team, but a squad of the first team at the moment. So I think it is just kind of getting by to the end of the season. They're going to try a few things, which you've got to say they're safe now. I don't think any of us probably would have said that the performance against Fulham would have been the prettiest tonight. I don't think we could have gone in and expected that. So I agree that the performance was poor, but it wasn't. I think against Fulham, you can get away with it. If it had been against another team, probably couldn't have got away with the team. But the whole, I mean, I've been saying it for months now that they just need the season to be over, because they just need the break. They just eat every week. That's why they're getting injured. You know, you got Neto, who already had his knee bandage up when he went down. They're just getting knocks and knocks. Martinez's come back from a knock. Yeah. You've got to be careful with him. He doesn't get more knocks. And you just, every time you see a play go down, you think, oh, God, not another one. So they just need the break. I think they've got to work out where they want to get to in the summer, and hopefully there'll be support behind them so that they can get a few new players in. But the transfer window is going to be interesting, because clubs haven't got as much money this year as they usually have because of everything that's happened. So it's going to be an interesting one to see what happens.
I think you got a good point there, Ames, and we'll get Craig's take on that in a minute. I think that there might be an expectation in the summer that Fosun are going to chuck a little bit of money on it, but I think they will spend. But I think the same as every club, because of the pandemic and everything, they have got to be very, very wise on how they spend the money, which is why I think you're definitely going to see a major player that go out. It'll probably be Traore, because they're going to need to bring some money in. I mean, what are your thoughts, Craig, on what Amy's just said there?
She's absolutely spot on. And you're spot on, Amy. Everything that you've just said is absolutely on the nail. They're absolutely knackered that they've not had any break whatsoever for a year and a half. but we just don't look anywhere near the team that we've looked at over the last 2.5 years, and the injuries that we've really.
Oh, I think we're losing you.
We're kind of losing you, Craig.
Frozen on mine.
Yeah, I think we've lost Craig. Craig's frozen and gone. I think we'll get in the point. We'll try and get him back if he can get his internet connection thingy, Craig. But I think we didn't get his man of the match and his performance. So if we can get him back at the end, just before we finish with Will do.
You can put it in the comments, Craig, if you can.
Yeah, if you can hear, that's a good point. Put your man of the match and your performance rating in the comments. We'll put it up on the screen. So we've sadly we lost Craig there. The internet gremlins got in the way, but we do have a very special man, one of my good friends, all the way from the US of A in Alabama, and I think he's got his international fan T-shirt on. It is Jeff. Wolfman Jeff.
Oh God, he's in the
door. What's going on?
The door.
What's going on here? Hold on, let me try this again.
Hold on, he's not turning into Ghost Man, is he, in the shed?
No,
honestly, this is a comedy program sometimes.
Well, I've been having some technical issues, so I wasn't sure I was going to get in. Let's try it again. I turned the camera back on. Yeah, I think I'm having problems with Mac Daddy. Sorry. Sorry, Dave.
Tell you what, Jeff, log back out, turn your computer off, log back in, and then we'll get you on, right? Because I do want to get you on. And if we can't get you on, we'll just go with voiceover. But try doing a complete you know what it is. Turn it off, turn it on again.
Yeah,
and try that.
All right, I'll do that, Dave.
All right.
All right. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers. So we have got next on. We've got Dave in New York waiting as well, but we've also got waiting young man Scott that did have a dog walking all over him not very long ago. Where's your dog?
Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Toby. Come here, boy. There you go.
Look at him.
Blossom's on her own tonight. I left her at the flat.
Oh yeah, we've got no Blossom, obviously, because your mum and dad's, aren't you? Yeah.
So, how are you, Scott?
I'm good. You guys?
Yeah, we're good. We're happy. Well, speaking for myself, and I think on behalf of Dave, happy with the 3 points. I think we can all breathe a little now. As soon as that ended, I turned to my dad and said, I think we're safe. So I think that's put everyone's minds at ease tonight a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think with this game, it was one of them that if we were going to lose it, then even people like myself would have said, okay, maybe we should consider being near the relegation battle. But Wolves proved that they go right to the end, and that goal by Traore, which was stunning, sealed the victory that we needed just to close any more doubt that we were ever going to get into a relegation battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think mentally as well, like they've got, I think, was it 2 points out of 15 or something? So I think got to that point when you're on that losing streak that they did need to go into the last set of games almost. They needed that little boost.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of them where this game was always going to be like the West Ham one, a tough game. Fulham are fighting a relegation battle, they're fighting for their lives, and they're on a good run of form. Whereas you look at us, we're struggling as we've always done. We've got a few injuries that have creeped up again and stuff like that. It was always going to be a tough game. And then when Jose's goal got ruled out, I honestly believed it was only going to go one way, because when Cavallero came on with, like, I think it was about 7 minutes left, I thought, please don't score past us. Like, I'll take a 0-0 right now. And that Traore shot, like 9 times out of 10 when he shoots as well, Traore, like, you wouldn't think he would go in like that at that tighter angle, but it did, thank God, and we get 3 points on the board.
Yeah, it's a bit of justice, I think, against that decision. I think
that's the thing with Jose, though. Like, arguably, yes, he did play well tonight, and he did get a good goal, which I don't believe was offside at all. It's ridiculous now what this VAR's doing now. Like the guy from who was on first. I can't remember his name, with his daughter. Like he said, once you get the lines out, then it's just stupid. Like if it's clear, then it's offside. If it's not clear,
thick those lines are drawn as well. Like they draw them thin.
Like you said, like if you look at those lines as well, it still looks like the Fulham players playing him on.
Yeah, that's what
in
I
my
thought.
eyes, anyway.
His hand was here, so I thought, well, his fingertips are playing him on, and it's ridiculous. We're talking about fingertips when the game's called bloody football, isn't it? That's what I'm saying.
And the other point is as well, it's hard. I mean, when do they decide when the ball is actually being kicked as well?
Yeah.
Because they stop it when they say the impact of the ball is going. And that is obviously a split second as well, isn't it? So
that depends on who's drawing it as well, because you could view it going different to how I could view it going. So it's just got too much human. I think they said at the end it should be when there's clear daylight. That to me is a bit wishy-washy as well. But I think Arsene Wenger's put quite a good thing forward where it has to be, as long as some part of the attacking player is on side, then it's classed as onside, which benefits the attacking team, doesn't it?
What spoils the game as well is some of the goals that you've seen that are incredible goals are ruined. And like Dave said, you're celebrating in the stands as well when we eventually do get back there. It ruins that moment as well, especially if it's like a last minute winner like the Traore one was. You imagine that getting ruled out for VAR at the last minute with all people in the stands. Yeah. But overall, I think it wasn't that much of a game that lit a light anything. Like it was a bit boring for me. But it's also one of them where I don't care. We got 3 points. I do hope.
I don't care.
I do hope Jose, even though the goal got ruled out, kicks on from there now and takes a bit of confidence from that goal.
You know what, Scott? I actually think it will, because the fact that he got in the position, just because the Premier League rule book on VAR and Wolves scoring first before 90 minutes in the game was kicked in. He did make a good run. It was a very powerful header. It's got to give him a bit of confidence. And from the Wolves fans, you've seen that's what we want to see from him. And I did think he probably had his best game in a Wolves shirt tonight for me, William Jose.
See, it's one of them as well where, and I don't want to be like the party pooper, but for me, I agree that it was probably one of the best games I've seen him play, and he deserved that goal because it was a good taken goal. But do I think he's still worth buying at the end of the season? No.
Agree.
I still believe that we should get somebody who's got Premier League experience in. But it's one of them where stuff like this, which happens, where he does get the goal, and if he does kick on from there, people start to think, oh, well, maybe he is worth the money. But honestly, I can't see it myself. It's one of them where I said to you before, Dave, I think in the last video, like anybody that comes from Spain, unless they've been in Europe with their team, they're not going to cut it in the Premier League for me. It's like a lot of people say, would you take Rafa Mir back because he's scoring goals in Spain?
Scored another two tonight, mate. Rafa Mir.
He did. But
for the bottom club in La Liga.
But I do believe that if you put him in the Premier League, you wouldn't do that. I have that feeling. I would love to be proven wrong because I do like Rafa Mir, but I don't believe that he could produce what he's producing over there in the Premier League. Because for me, the Spanish league is different to the Premier League in my eyes. Like I do believe the Premier League is a lot higher the standard of football than the Spanish one.
Premier League's more physical, and you can tell that. I think you can tell that from Semedo coming over because he struggles in defence. He's an attacking player, and you can tell he struggles in defence, and you can tell that he is more comfortable in the back three when he's not so reliant to be back for that. And I think with Aït-Nouri, which is the point of saying that they need to work on the defence play in the back four. But I'm sure you've seen the rumours, but I wouldn't say no to Matt Doherty coming back, which I don't know if you've seen those rumours. I would have him back in a second, to be quite honest with you.
For me, I think it was a mistake him leaving, but I could see why he left because obviously
he just wanted a new challenge after 10 years. can't blame him. And we got
who would stop him? The thing is, who would stop him after how loyal he's been to the club?
Yeah.
And for all the fans that slate him from a Wolves perspective, saying like, "Oh, look at him failing," after giving that loyal service to us, we should be upset that he's failing because we want him to succeed. But if he does come back, then great. I think if he does come back, he'll be great for us. But at the same time, I think if you gave Semedo a pre-season under Nuno, you'll get a totally different player next season. That'll be better than Doherty.
100% agree with that comment. I think we'll see the best of Semedo next season when we've had a proper pre-season and they've had a chance to run proper drills. I mean, it's easy to forget that we had a 3-day pre-season. They never really had any real time. They threw in the 4 at the back without having any real... You know, when Nuno first came in the first season and we saw him play against Leicester pre-season in the Championship, we were like, blooming hell, this looks good. He drilled them day in, day out on that system. And the 4 at the back and that 4... that system that he wants to play, if he gets the players in and we've got players back, I think next season we'll see that played a lot more. You can see that's where he wants to go to make war more offensive, but we've got to be just as tight at the back. But I think we'll still see that we'll have the option of the 3-4-3 or the the 5-3-2 formation as well. But that gives us more options to change within the game. But I think it's all down to, like what you say, the training in pre-season. But going back to Amy's point, I wouldn't be averse to Matt Doherty coming back, but obviously not paying the same amount as we sold him for, and it'd be just like we let him go to Tottenham alone for a season. Then,
look, for me, Tottenham for him, like from a personal view for him, Tottenham was something that he needed to go and try. He needed to go and experience. Obviously, unfortunately, it's been unsuccessful for him. And personally, if there is a chance of taking him back, yes, I would take him back because we already know as well that he was Nuno's favourite player, basically. Like, he was the only one that he would hug. So it's one of them that I think Nuno would take him back, but he would be at a cheaper price, obviously, because he's not probably worth the money that he was when we sold him. But again, like I said before, if we put a pre-season under Semedo with Nuno at the helm, Semedo will be a different kettle of fish when he plays next season, and I don't think Doherty would get a look in. So I think Doherty would be bench appearances at most, or cover for if we were stuck on the other side.
Scott, just to finish off, because we're out of time with you, mate, your man of the match and your performance rating to conclude?
Performance rating 7, just because we got the win and we kept going till the end. And Silva as well. He got a goal last time, he got an assist this time. And then my man of the match, I'm going to give it to Traore. That guy has had his critics. He's been struggling for goals. He hasn't scored since 2019, if I remember correctly. So for me, him getting that goal, sealing the 3 points that we needed more than anything, and him getting rid of that goal drought sums it up perfectly for me. Job done. 3 points in the bag. Traore ends his goal drought. Give him man of the match as well. Fully deserved.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks again for waiting so patiently, Scott. Much appreciated. See you. You've got the Bushbury Hill merchandise on again tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll get that green shirt on one of these days, mate. I promise.
Well, we're back in.
To be honest, mate, you're going to need me because you keep losing, so you're going to need someone up front to put the ball in the net. So I'll come down and show you how it's done.
Well, we've got we had a bad time when we came back from lockdown, but we did play a team that had won trophies and scored for fun. They've beaten everybody in double figures near enough. And then we played a midweek friendly against Down Syndrome Awareness FC, who is an amazing club. They do a lot of good work. And that was a good game, really good competitive game. And he got a lot of minutes for lads that we don't usually use to get out there and show what they can do. And again, this Sunday, we're again giving a friendly to a new club that's joining our league system and to give players of our own more chance to have some game time under them. Then it's back in the league again next week, which hopefully will secure our first win of the season. Fingers crossed.
That's right, mate. Fingers crossed. All the best, buddy, anyway. And thanks for coming on to Extra Time again, mate.
No worries. Anytime.
Good
night, guys. Night.
Now we've got to keep our fingers crossed for our next guest, because the last time he was on, we had technical problems. So we are going to keep our fingers crossed. We haven't got Jeff back yet. I don't know whether his computer's completely gone, but we do have from the US of A, Dave from New York Wolves. Hello, mate.
Oh no, it's happened again.
Hello. We can see you, but we cannot hear you.
Can't hear you. Is he frozen?
No, no good.
Yes, we have lifted off. We have sound. Don't touch anything.
Not touching the bloody thing, mate.
Oh.
It's weird. I did a StreamYard for work, 2 of them actually last week, and they were both perfectly okay. So I don't know what it is. Same computer, everything. But anyway.
Absolutely. How are you?
All right, I suppose. That was a rough 2 hours.
Meant to be happy after that.
Yeah, I was raging the second half, as you'll see from my reaction video. That bloody offside was just. When they showed the first replay of it, I did wonder if it was going to be given offside, because it looked close. But then when they showed it, I thought, oh, okay, we're good. No way, no chance they're going to give that offside. Then all of a sudden, I mean, we've had goals ruled out because I think it was Neto. His arm was in an offside position, but in this one, the defender's arm was playing Pedem's onside, but it's still given. I don't know what the rule is anymore.
No,
it's
I don't get
it. It's ludicrous.
Absolutely. I think I think it's the law just needs completely. I mean, I still don't even know how anyone could argue that was offside today, to be honest. So
I was just looking at there's some articles out there. Peter Crouch said it was just he was raging against it. There's some video of a French commentator. My French sadly isn't good enough, but they're just laughing. They're just laughing at how ludicrous it is.
I think you just have to
give an offside. But Traore went down the other end and said, "You know what? We're going to win it anyway." So I mentioned in my reaction video, I felt as excited and had as much adrenaline pumping through my veins, beating Fulham 1-0 away, as I did when we beat Man City after being 2-0 down. That's how ridiculous it is.
Oh, mate, you were with me that night for Man City. You were in the UK. And we met up just after the game, and you brought when I was doing my match reaction, and you got on with the flag, didn't you? That was a brilliant match. That was.
I mean, sneaking a cheeky 1-0 win against Fulham shouldn't be anywhere near like that, but because of VAR, it felt like that way. But well done for Traore for nicking that one. I mean, what a goal! That was brilliant.
Yeah, it was good to see him score for sure. Even though he got the goal against Leeds for me, so for me it was his second goal really, but no, it's good. I think it's good for the confidence. They're safe now. Performance wasn't really that pretty, but it was never going to be against Fulham, and they got the result. So it was just much.
It was harsh on Fulham. Yeah, I mean, did we deserve to win it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we won it too.
Just got to do a bit of a shout out to Fulham, because you just saw Scott Parker at the end, and I quite like Scott Parker. I like Fulham as a club, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He was crestfallen, wasn't it? And you saw the Fulham players. Absolutely. I mean, if you can see, crestfallen. I actually think that's probably done Fulham, that result tonight. Yes. I mean, maybe they'll bounce back. But
last day of the season, so it could quite easily come down to that.
But they're now 3 points behind Newcastle and the rest, and they've played 2 games more than everyone else. That's the thing. I mean, if the other teams don't win, maybe. He said, I think in his pre-match, it's a must-win match. But he said every game, last match, this match, it's a must-win match. So not to get anything out of it and to lose it right at the end, I think that probably felt like such a sucker punch for them. Mm. And you do feel for Fulham.
We've been there, right?
So many points.
Snatched away at the last minute. Was it at Old Trafford many years ago, and Mick McCarthy, we'd held on. I think it was 1-1 or 0-0, and then Ji-sung Park scored the winner in like the 94th minute. And Old Trafford this year, you know, we've all been there.
Oh, what?
Stolen away the last minute.
Absolutely.
I won't mention Wembley. No, I just did.
No, please don't. I still haven't watched the highlights back from that. That was a couple of days ago. It was the anniversary.
Yeah, I gave it about 3 or 4 days till I got back here, and I watched the highlights, and I seriously, I was shaking. I actually felt like I had PTSD. It's weird. I mean, it's ludicrous. I've never been in combat. I feel bad saying making that comparison. That's how it felt. I was almost like shaking from it.
So we're moving swiftly on from that conversation because we don't like to talk about it. Who is
No.
your man of the match and your performance rating?
Honestly, I want to give us a 4. I thought it was terrible. The first half was just awful. Man of the match, I sort of don't want to give it to anybody because I think we were so poor. I don't think anyone deserves it. But I suppose if there were contenders, I think Silva he had a good cameo performance and a nice through ball at the end, and then obviously Traore for winning it. And I'm a little reluctant to give it to anyone. I thought it was a really poor performance.
Okay. I don't know. I struggle when they've won.
I've never said that before, to be honest.
You've got to give it some credit because they have ground out a result. But you're right to have your opinion. So, you know, fair enough.
What do you got? We've got 1.5 minutes left with you. We do have Wolfman Jeff back. Let's hope it will.
All these Americans, it's past our bedtime. All these Americans.
What do you think for the Sheffield United game? Any changes, mate, that you'd make for that? Because that's the next matchup, isn't it? In about 9 days' time, 8-9 days' time.
So I was sort of smiling when I saw the lineup tonight because, you know, we weren't very good against West Ham, and everyone was, you know, I saw a million comments saying we should drop this player for that player. And, you know, I think we should have learned by now that Nuno doesn't work like that. When Nuno's got a lineup in his mind, he's going to stick with it even if we're poor, and he's going to try and get that lineup to fix the mistakes that they made in the last match. That wouldn't surprise me at all if he starts with the same lineup. The one variable would be whether Neto can make it.
There is another variable though, Dave, because Bolly should be back.
Okay, Bolly back, and obviously Moutinho came on tonight, so assuming he's okay, I could see Moutinho in there. But probably up front, I think he's got to give Jose a chance to start. You know, after getting his first goal for us tonight, I'm gonna keep saying that. I don't care what the linesman did. I think he should start Jose up front still. I think the same lineup, other than, you know, Bolly in for probably Saiz, and Moutinho for Dendoncker, I suppose, would be the only changes. I think there's not many other changes we can make with the injury list we got, right?
No.
That's true. I think that finishes it off nicely, and you will be able to see Dave's instant reaction on the International Fan when it comes out tomorrow, and hopefully Amy will send one in to represent the UK as well. Mate,
I have to do about 6 versions of it to keep the language clean, but yeah,
no, I can always edit them anyway, mate. Lovely. All right, Dave, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate.
Yeah, see ya. See ya.
And last but no means least, fingers crossed it works. Jeff, hey, I can see a picture of him on the green in the green screen.
It's black for me.
Yeah, no, but I can see a picture of him in the back room.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me at all?
We can hear you. We'll go with it. We'll go with your voice.
Wow.
You're going to be compared. I'm sorry, but Ghostman is going to be complaining because he's going to think that you're doing the shed thing.
I'm totally taking the shed thing. I tell you, I thought we had it worked out. So, oh man,
it's not even a ghost. It's just nothing. It's just a blackout.
So, yeah. Well, it's a day of mourning.
Tell everyone you're in your shed with no light, mate. That works for Ghostman anyway.
No, I'm up in my office, and I was afraid I wasn't going to have power because we were having some pretty big storms, but. Yeah, I'm afraid I have to take the Mac to the shop, which is a pain because that's what I do editing on. So, oh, well, Ghostman Jeff, get some light. Oh, Vinyl Revival? Oh, man, how do you say that to me? I similar to Dave, I wouldn't go as far as Dave. from New York Wolves, but I get his point that by and large we played poor. And we're talking about, how would you, what rating would you give? And I wouldn't give a rating for the whole match, and I wouldn't split it up by first half and second half. I'd give it out to most of the game and then the last 5 minutes of both halves. And that's the thing I noticed was we didn't really come alive or seem to be very threatening until about 5 minutes before the half, and then 5 minutes before the end. And then we sparked and came alive. Obviously, I was, even though it is so mind-boggling what happened with VAR, that's got to be one of the most famous mess-ups that VAR has ever done. But I am, on the positive part, I am happy that William Jose did score. We all saw it. It actually happened. And so I'm hoping that means that going forward, he's got that monkey off his back. Even though it didn't count, it counts to us. So good for that. We did struggle. And I'm probably the thing that's, Dave, I know I'm kind of rambling here. The thing that's really weighing on me the most heavy is Neto. And I know I saw him being iced on the sidelines. And to me, that's the thing that's hovering over me right now. If we don't get Neto, if it's gonna take him a bit of time out, man, our bad situation could get worse. And I'm trying to stay positive, Dave, because you and I like to stay positive. But boy, if Neto's out, then this is it. I know we're giving Nuno a hard time, and sometimes, yes, he's very stubborn. But Dave, he doesn't have very many cards to play with.
I do think that we have been cursed this year with injuries. I mean, it's just been. I mean, if you think about the 3 seasons previous where we had next to no injuries, we have got. We did have a little white dot on the screen when you're there then, but the last year we've had so many injuries throughout the season. I mean, look at Johnny Otto, second ACL. Now Neto's gone down. And I do think it's probably because we had such a quick turnaround and such a long season last year that they never really had that regime in building back up, that down. And I think that's got to have some effect on it. And with a small squad, like you say, it just knocks us for 6. And I think in the circumstances with, the COVID situation and no fans and, the injury situation and everything that's gone to, in the end, be what we're looking like being comfortably safe may be not a bad achievement. And hopefully we can come back stronger for it for next year. Is that a train?
Is that what? A train? Yeah, well, that's the Chattanooga choo-choo going by, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, hey,
brilliant. It's not a sound effect. It's a real train.
It's a real train. Yeah, it really is. It's going through
You're
town.
not sat on the side of a railway line somewhere, are you, Jeff?
I could be right at the train stop in Birmingham and you wouldn't know it. Because, use your imagination. I could be on the Hogwarts Express at Orlando.
Love it.
But no, it's I know we were talking before, or you were talking with some others about this coming summer, and we hope that Fosun's going to finally really spend a bit more. But the concern is that a lot of clubs are struggling financially. But the situation is that some clubs will take advantage of that because they have the resources. When most clubs cannot spend, those who can will, and really give themselves a very strong advantage. So it's one of those things where, and I know that Fosun is smart because he's got, they've got, they're very smart in their investments. So they should know that, and sometimes that's actually a time to buy is when others can't buy. So I'm hoping that happens. I agree with what was said before. I think a center back or 2, but it's certainly a top quality that has moved up way up on our list. We still need some more attacking options, and we need some help in the midfield. So we've got at least those three, and I would say especially in the center back, which is the biggest one. But we got to spend money on all three. So I've been kidnapped, Alpha Gaming. I can't say that. Alpha, I was going to blink out the message to you like in Morse code, and they knew that, and so they caught on to that, so they pulled the plug.
Oh,
right,
mate,
finally, because it's past midnight here. What is your man of the match and performance?
Yeah, well, I would give most of the performance 2 or 3, and then up to a 8 at the last 5 minutes of each half. So I guess it would average out to 6 because we won. And Adama's goal was with so much force that he was going to make sure that went in, even if it tore down the entire stadium. He was going to kick it that hard. And I'm really impressed he kept control, because usually when he kicks it that hard, he has a difficulty with the control. I almost want to give it to Cody, just because it was one of the best. He improved so much from last week, but that's also his day job. So did he do so much better, or did he just do his job he's supposed to be doing? And so kind of him and Hod. And I'm going to go to Adama just because he put a stamp on it. He carried it on his back. Obviously, great assist from Silva, but Adama made sure it happened.
Absolutely fantastic, Jeff. I think that pretty much sums it up. And I'm sorry that we never got to actually see you. The Ghost Man is putting in a writ, complaining that you're stealing his gig with the thing. But hopefully next time we can have, and because we did see you last time, hopefully you can get that sorted for the next one, mate. And it's really thanks for your patience, and thank you for getting on tonight, and thanks for sending in your international reaction, which will go out tomorrow as well.
I will, and I want to let you know I'm much prettier this way. So
we love you, Jeff.
All right.
Take care, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers, buddy. So that concludes the show. It's been a good show, a fantastic show. We've had some interesting comments and thoughts again. Amy, how do you conclude that? At the end of the day, we've got the 3 points, we've got the win. It was a drab game, but hey ho, we're another game closer to the end of this crazy season.
Agree.
And I think, ladies and Jelly Spoon, that concludes tonight's extra time.
I can't speak after midnight.
That's it. You're starting to flake a little bit there. This is late for Amy. You're probably up running at about 7 o'clock in the morning. Someone did ask before we go on the show, how's your training going?
I'm not really training. Yeah, fine. I'm not really training for anything, so it's going fine. But no, I'll be up at Bagridge at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Well, this morning, because it's today. So thanks everyone for joining, and I'm just pleased that we could talk about a win and not just moan about VAR. We've only moaned about VAR for 60%, so I'm glad that Adama saved us.
It saved it, yeah, it did. It gave us
to talk about something else. Otherwise, this show would have just been slating VAR for an hour and a half. So
it would have been. And my day tomorrow is I'm getting up. I'm heading over to Wolverhampton to Manny's, and it's Samosa Saturday, and I've got 11 drop-offs to do, all raising money for the Feed Our Pack campaign for the foundation. And I think it's raised getting close to £6,000 now, which is phenomenal. So thanks for everyone that supported that campaign. And those that I'm dropping off samosas to tomorrow, look forward to seeing you. And thank you very, very much. We've got some comments here from LA Wolf fan. Thank you to us, both of us. And we've got Keith saying good night to everyone. And I'm dropping things off to Merv tomorrow and Samosa Saturday. Thank you to as well to my co-host Amy for joining us again. It's a late nighter, but they are great. We've had some we've had loads of people in the watching the stream tonight. So from myself and Amy, sleep tight, and it's always Wolves, isn't it, Amy?
Always Wolves. Bye.
Cheerio, everyone.